And a warm welcome to the Alliance Services Hampton Downs International from this fantastic facility known as Hampton Downs. And it's a beautiful day here. We're just south of Auckland, and this is round 2 of the Castrol Toyota Oceania Racing Series. And no question about it, brought to you this year by Next Gen, looking very good indeed. And why don't we get straight into what we're looking at, this international circuit. Andrew Wade, take us around.
As we get ready to go for this round, we've got a total of 10 corners here at the Alliance Service Hampton Downs International with the 3.8 kilometre distance and 10.2 metres of elevation, especially down into turn 8 and 9. Down there's a lot of elevation changes, and as we make our way down this straight here, there's a lot of wind starting to form as they make their way into turn 2, so that's going to make the braking very, very difficult down to there as we see Scholar getting ready to rock and roll for qualifying. They're building those tyres and getting them ready to go. As we saw at Toe 4, the way they build those tyres in, they use the first lap to cruise around, slowly build that heat. You don't want to shock too much heat through the tyre too early. So as we watch that start to unfold, and there's a little bit less degradation here at Hampton Downs. So we may see that they start getting into it that little bit quicker here.
Yeah, and talking to the drivers, they all like this circuit. It reminds them of an American or a European circuit. Talked to Nikita Johnson, one of the favourites for some wins over this season from the USA, one of the youngest competitors, just 16 years of age. And he said, yeah, it reminds him of Brands Hatch, and I get that. The up and down, the hairpins, the tight corners, and the fast-flowing corners as well. As we look at one of the main hairpins here, not an overtake into there, but good drive out of there for the final corner, and the drive out of there, oh so important. We've had 3 races already this season at Toe 4. Arvin Lindblad leads the way from Great Britain with 78 points. Matthias Zagazeta of Peru has 73. And Zach Schooler, who we were looking at a moment ago, the New Zealander, won the first race, and he is in 3rd. Let's head down to Greg Russ.
Jonathan, Andrew, good morning to you both. You mentioned there in the introduction just about the prevalence of the wind around the Hampton Downs circuit at the moment. You can certainly feel it on your back here in pit lane if you were looking towards the pit exit. Now, I've just had a word to Gary Orton and some of the team at Kiwi Motorsport. The engineering team there have been mindful of that and have tried to give the cars a bit more stability in the higher speed corners. And separately, I can tell you, we had a special guest at the historic GP last weekend in Roberto Moreno. He has stuck around for an extra week to be a coach for the drivers there at Kiwi Motorsport, helping them in between sessions. So the guy who won, of course, in IndyCar at Cleveland in the early 2000s, I should say, and was on the podium for Benetton in the 90s, offering that technical and coaching advice that he's very good at.
Yeah, and of course he, at this level, was a Macau Grand Prix winner, so a perfect guy to help these guys at this level.
Yeah, great guy to have in your corner, helping these guys out heading into the weekends. And you're sort of maybe wondering, obviously, driver coaching, what does that involve? That allows the drivers to, understand what to focus on throughout the weekend. Obviously, these cars are different to what Moreno was driving back to when he was at his best, but that doesn't matter because it's not so much the technical 1%ers all the time. It's about leading them in the right direction, getting them to focus on the right corners, getting them to focus on the right things, not focused on what your teammate's doing, but focus on the bigger picture or, not get caught up in a situation that isn't important to the bigger picture.
Track temperatures, nice and cool, actually, 26 degrees, lot cooler than it was at Toe 4. We're looking at Arvid Lindblad, our championship leader, getting some notoriety down here in New Zealand. He was on the 6 o'clock news last night, the M2 driver, as they watch on at the hairpin. But Arvid definitely got a little bit of pressure, a little bit of a target on his back, if you will. Not only is he dressed in the famous Red Bull colours, he's also down here with one mandate and one mandate only. You have to come back with super license points, of which there are 18 to the winner of this championship, and that would put him in the hot seat in terms of being ready for Formula One, approaching the 25 season, but they are waiting for 26 to perhaps give him a chance to go racing. Maybe some Friday drives, but the point is he's here to score points.
Yeah, absolutely. As we look at the results so far, Nicolas Monteiro, he is currently fastest, but I don't think we'll see him do too many laps. He got a penalty yesterday.
I was going to say, he needs to be.
Yeah, he got a penalty yesterday for speeding under a red flag, so he's been hit pretty hard with a rear grid start for the next race, and that's a serious situation, speeding under red flag. So they've they've really copped him with a penalty with that one, and we'll see him do minimal laps to try and save his tyres for later on. So I wouldn't be surprised if we see him do 1 or 2 more and then park it up and look after those Pirellis for the race.
As we saw at Topor, Arvid Lindblad and Patrick Huizenroda and Zach Skula, also Matthias Zagazzetta, Nikita Johnson, Josh Pearson. Those are the names that we've been seeing at the top, as Josh Pearson just goes second quickest, as then Patrick Huizenroda of Australia, being looked after by David Brabham, goes quickest, a 1:28.8, and the time's dropping quickly, already under Polinsky's time from last year. But we think there's a reason for that, right?
Yeah, absolutely. And another thing to look at as well, if we look after qualifying yesterday, practice yesterday, Arvid Lindblad, he did a 1:28.4. He was 0.4 of a second quicker than anyone else yesterday. So he was very, very fast. So if we should be looking around those 1:28s, mid to low 1:28s, I think is going to grab pole position. It's a lot cooler today as well.
Yeah.
So I wouldn't be surprised if we see definitely low 28s.
Big squeal of the tyres there for Lindblad. If you saw that 11-kilometre wind and you saw the flags just physically, would you be thinking about turns 1 and a few of the faster corners, about the stability of the car?
Yeah, you always want to look before you start qualifying what's going on and where the wind's positioned, and sometimes it might take a couple of late breaks when you're in qualifying going, I just can't get the car stopped down into turn 2. Why am I struggling? As we see a bit of a lock-up from Skula into the last corner. I think he's on a bit of a heater this lap, but it's when you struggle a couple times with that braking marker, then you think back, right, where's the wind? Has it shifted? Has it increased? Or is it just my braking, what I need to work on and bring the marker back? So there's all those things going through your mind. As Skula with a 1:28.4, so that matches the fastest time of yesterday. He is flying, and he's on another heater as well, using all the road on the exit of 1.
And I'll say it again, I know he's a Kiwi, he lives in the United Arab Emirates, but he's never raced in New Zealand until last weekend. This is his first time out at Hampton Downs, and again, he's topping the times and surprising everybody with his form at the moment. He is the form man, no question about it. One race won, he's in contention for the championship, and it's a great story. His father arrived today from the United Arab Emirates. His mum, Deborah, is also here. She was here last weekend, but it's a fairy tale story so far for this young man, just 17 years of age. And what a future he has. We saw, obviously, Lawson here last weekend as Lindblad goes quicker again, 1:28.28, and again, the time's clocking down, but it's going to be close, and it's going to be fast. Just 5 minutes left. You don't have a lot of time to mess about.
No, you don't. There's 3/100ths of a second between him and Skula at the moment. It is super close between them. This next lap is going to be the interesting one. We saw Skula very, very fast out of turn 1. He's on another push lap, so we're going to see him come across the line very, very soon to complete his lap as we look on board. We'll look at the lap with Lindblad at the moment as he makes his way through Swampies into another hard part of the track there, as we see now back to Zagazzetta. He's on his way towards turn 9. Hard corner, you can see how much it drops off.
Yeah, it's a toughy one, that, isn't it? Because it drops right off. You've got to brake and get smooth out. The drive out of that is so important. And Zagazzetta will want to get the hurry up on. He's currently fifth. Nikita Johnson behind him. Huizenroda, who was earliest to the top of the board, is now 7th. And Michael Shin, now in his 2nd season of the Castrol Toyota Formula Regional Oceania Championship.
Pearson makes his way into P2. Look how close it is between them. 1:28.3 for Skula.
Wow.
He's gone faster. Josh Pearson with a 1:28.3, 7/100ths of a second quicker. It is tight between those top 3.
Yeah, and I mean, amazingly, the top 5, that is what? Less than 3/10 between them. Really intense and really very close indeed. 4 minutes to go. Skula at the top. Pearson, Lindblad, Nikita Johnson of the USA. Will Brown, the current Supercars champion, is in 5th. Zagazzetta 6th. Huizenroda just improving his time is Taiwan's Enzo Ye. He moves to 10th quickest ahead of Sean Rashid of the USA. Got to be impressed with Lindblad's pace right from the get-go. Didn't have the best of starts in race 1 at Topo, but he bounced back quickly and leads the championship and has certainly picked up. I spoke to him yesterday and I said, are you in the groove now? Do you feel comfortable racing here? And he said, absolutely, I'm really enjoying it. And he chose to come here. He and Helmut Marko talked at Abu Dhabi, and they both decided that the UAE wasn't for them because there is other championships that are available, but they said
Pearson.
New Zealand's where we want to go. Pearson goes quickest.
1:28.1.
Whoa.
That is the fastest lap ever for an FT60 around Hampton Downs. These guys are absolutely flying.
Well, the Indy Next driver on fire at the moment. Here he is, and we're watching him work his trade. Got a good season under his belt last year. He'll be popping back over to do the test and do the full season, joining the likes of Skeets and Callum Hedge and the current champion, Louis Foster, who's gone up to IndyCar. But Josh Pearson definitely won to show. Didn't think he had the best of weekends, actually, at Topor, and he's hoping for better here, and so far, so good. 128, 184.
And he's on another lap at the moment as he makes his way through what is called Double B, down into Turn 8, the Alliance Services corner there. On another lap, can he go any quicker? We saw Limban land a little bit earlier as well. He was on a cool down, doing a bit of a reset, so he's prepping himself for another lap as well as time ticks down. 2.5 minutes remaining.
Yeah, you've got to do it. You've got to do it now. You haven't got a lot of time to mess about. Pearson into the last complex now, leading the way. Schooler is second at the moment. Lindblad still third. It's just 0.2. Nikita Johnson fourth. Will Brown fifth. Zagazeta sixth. Hertzen-Roeder in seventh place. MTech watch on. Shin is eighth. Manson, another of the Kiwis, ninth, coming back for a full season. Crosby improves. The man from Invercargill goes into the top 10.
See Pearson go across the line. That last lap was a 10th off his quickest. Still fast. Very, very quick times. But look at Zach Schooler. His lap is 4 1,000ths of a second slower. He did go faster, but 4 1,000ths of a second is what he needs to find. As we look at Lindblad, he is on a lap as well. We saw him cool down. He's on his way into Turn 9. Needs to make sure he gets a good run on the exit of Turn 9. Very, very important corner to focus on the exit. And as you're coming down in towards the last section here, you brake so late into here.
Well, Lindblad's on a very good lap. He's just at a 16.1 in Sector 1, a 46.9 his personal best in Sector 2. So this is looking good for the number 4 Red Bull M2 racing driver as he comes up the hill to complete this lap. Will he get the provisional pole? We're about to find out. He crosses the line now.
He's done it.
And he does it. 128.074. Beautifully done by the Brit.
That is a massive lap. So that cool down did work for him. Slowed down, let the tyres cool off. As you see, Will Brown as well. He is now up into 4th place. He is pressing on.
It's going to be a great championship. 15 races in all, over 3,500 kilometres. And here is Will Brown, really getting back to his roots. He was an F4 champion in Australia back in the day, so it's been a fair few years. The 26-year-old has done single-seaters, but he's really enjoying it.
Watch him up over this part of the track here. Super bumpy on the way down as he head towards turn number 9. You can see he's doing everything he can. Locks up.
Oh.
It's gone wide. I think that'll affect his lap.
Yeah.
He's lost time there. I'd say he'll abort this lap.
Pearson still third. Will Brown will stay fourth. Huysenreuter just did a 28.4. The clock ticking down. Less than 30 seconds to go. If you haven't crossed the line yet, you're out of it. But it's still Lindblad in the pole. Schooler from New Zealand in second place and Pearson of the USA. Here comes Zagazeta. Can he improve some 7th? The man from Peru in the number 8 for M2 competition. Crosses the line, but stays 7th.
Lindblad again has done his fastest Sector 2, so he is on another absolute flyer this lap. Is he going to be able to go quicker? He's not as safe as you'd like to think. Schooler's only half a 10th of a second behind him at the moment.
Checkered flag is out. The clock has ticked 2-0, but Lindblad is still pushing on to try to improve. Let's see what he does as he heads down the long back straight here at the International Circuit. If you don't recognize it, yes, it extends where they usually turn right. This it now extends down to the back of the circuit, making it a much more challenging circuit. And on a very quick one, Josh, Pearson just does the second split faster than anybody else out there. Schooler's on another lap too. He's just 0.058 off the pole. It's another good performance by the Kiwi.
Wasn't enough. 28.5. Didn't finish the lap just like you'd hope, but
Shin improves to 5th. Nikita Johnson dropped down to 8th position at the end of that session. Disappointment for him, the young 16-year-old. And Nicholas Monteiro, who had the earliest, fastest time, down to 15. Now, can anybody else improve? Don't think so.
Well,
Zagazeta, though, is the only one really with a chance. He's going to finish the lap now. Can he improve from 7th? He's only 0.3 off the pole position, so he's in a good position, but can he improve from 7th? No.
Whoa, what a session.
It goes
How-
quiet, doesn't it? It goes by quick. It's great stuff, though, and it's going to be Great Britain's Arvid Lindblad and your championship leader who's going to lead the field into the first race. Remember, reverse top 8 for race 2 tomorrow, and the feature race will follow a longer format and more points than race 2. Well done to Arvid Lindblad, and he's doing what Helmut asked him to, which is make a name for himself and pick up as many points as possible. You are potentially looking at another Formula One star of the future.
Certainly not the first one to come through this series. We've seen so many over the years. We take a look at the results.
Yeah, so Arvid Lindblad with a 1:28.074. That's scintillatingly fast around this circuit. Zach Schooler of New Zealand second, Josh Pearson of the USA third, Will Brown of Australia fourth, Michael Shin of South Korea fifth, Patrick Huizenroder of Australia sixth, Zagazeta of Peru seventh, Nikita Johnson USA in eighth, Madsen of New Zealand ninth, and Enzo Ye of Chinese Taipei or Taiwan, whichever you prefer, 11th, 12th, 13th, Sean Rashi, Jet Bowling, Stati of Australia, Monteiro of Brazil, Barrett Wolf of the USA, and James Lawley, 17th of Canada. Well, the smile says it all. He's a happy lad, and he's had a scintillating season. He will be going into Formula 2 with Campos this season, and he's just getting a nice preparation for it. When that helmet comes off and the hat goes on, he'll be talking to Stephen MacGyver, and he gets a congratulations from Andrew Davis from Toyota here in New Zealand. And they're delighted to have him. I mean, and I'm sure the other drivers are too. They don't want to be beaten by him, but they also want to see just how good they can be up against the guy who's already been chosen for big stuff. He got 4 FIA F3 wins last year. And so there's no question, he is the benchmark. Let's head over to Stephen MacGyver, getting ready to talk to our pole position man, Arvid Lindblad.
Thank you, Jonathan. Let's just get ready with the Castrol Toyota Formula Regional Oceania Championship qualifying round 2 here at Hampton Downs Motorsport Park. In P3, Josh Pearson of the USA. P2, Zach Schooler. And the Castrol Toyota Formula Regional Oceania Championship trophies are presented by Tatsuya Ishikawa, the acting CEO of Toyota New Zealand. And the Toyota Financial Services pole position trophy in P1 from Great Britain, Arvid Lindblad. Well, Arvid, congratulations. Another pole position. It's only round 2 of the championship. Really good qualifying. How satisfying was that, knowing you really had to put it down at the end?
Yeah, I did. To be honest, the team gave me a really good car, and I didn't do a good job in the early laps, so I made my life a bit difficult. So yeah, I'm thankful to them, because I think we made a good step forward from Taupo, and they really saved me today.
Would love to know your thoughts on this track. Is it more of your style?
I don't know. I really enjoy the circuit. I don't know if it's more my style or not, but I think it's really cool. There's a really nice flow to it, and it's quite challenging with the bumps, which is something I'm not really used to, but it's a new element that I have to sort of deal with and try to adapt to, which has been good over the last couple of days. So I'm having fun so far.
How much is this championship pushing you? We're only round 2. That was a 500th pole position. It's very, very tight. Your sort of cup of tea?
Yeah, it's quite tight, so I need to make sure I do a bit of a better job tomorrow in quali, so it's hopefully not so on the edge.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
There you go, Arvid Lindblad with pole position number 2 this weekend at the Alliance Services Hampton Downs International. Coming next, Somerset GT New Zealand Championship qualifying live on the Stuff Speed Hub.